Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Williams, your play-by-play announcer, joined by Brian Nelson, your color commentator for today's game. We are here in the Solano Community College Gym getting ready to watch the Solano Falcons take on the Marin Mariners. Brian, what do you think the Solano Falcons should do against the Mariners' three-point percentage? Because they shoot a low three-point percentage, but in warm-ups, they were hitting them like it was nothing. So do you think they should back off or just play great defense?
I think they should really just play it by ear, if that makes sense, where you never know with a squad that comes in with a low record, a low shooting percentage. It's basketball. They could just be having a hot pregame. So maybe they wouldn't have necessarily the game plan to stop the three-point shot, but that could adjust based off the performance of Marin in this first half.
All right, and we know the Solano Falcons are a small team. Trayvon Ross is their biggest person, along with Maurice Campbell being about 6'3", 6'4".
Right.
And the Mariners have two players that are 6'9", and Joey Potts and Kevin Carmen. And Carmen is 295 pounds. So what should Solano do against the two bigger players for the Mariners?
It really is a matter of hustle and boxing out of those two big bodies. You have to imagine that at least one of them will be on the court at all times because they have both at their disposal. Potts is going to start out this game in the starting lineup, but Solano really has to box out. It has to be a communal effort on the boards, and defensively, you don't want to go too much with a zone because that 6'9" presence, that's harder to box out with a zone than a man-to-man defense, and it also goes to the three-point percentage where it might tempt them into making those three-point shots if you play that zone. So I would expect Solano to start out this game man-to-man.
Thank you, Brian. And your starters for the Mariners are Eric Mireri, number 2, Derek Morgan, Jamie Benagas, R.J. Calvin, and Joey Potts. And Solano gets the ball first. Isaiah Dupachan dribbling, gives it to Andrew Mimai. Mimai gives it to Leon Williams. Leon Williams gives it to Maurice Campbell. Campbell gives it to Mimai. Mimai gives it to Trayvon Ross. Trayvon Ross penetrates, goes straight at Potts, misses. Rebound by R.J. Calvin.
Yeah, that was a strong move there by Ross at the much slimmer Joey Potts, 6'9", 180. Very slender frame. They try to overpower the taller Potts.
As Calvin has the ball. Gives it to Jamie Benagas. Benagas looking for Potts, gives it to Potts. Potts gives it to the leading scorer, Derek Morgan. Morgan penetrates, goes at Ross, goes up, misses, gets his own rebound, goes up again, it's tied up, and it will be a jump ball.
And that's Morgan's game. Looking at the shooting percentages, doesn't have three-point statistics on the year, and he is their leading scorer. He's shooting 47% from the field and 0% from three-point percentage, so you got to expect Morgan to attack the rim when he gets the ball.
Mariners give it to Joey Potts down low, and he dunks the ball.
So already the size of the 6'9" Potts playing a factor on that inbounds play, just went straight up. Obviously, the 6'3" Trayvon Ross and the 6'3" Kimball, no match for the size of Potts on that that easy dunk.
Yeah, Potts a very slim guy, but he's very aggressive. As Trayvon Ross goes straight at Potts and gets the basket to go in.
And on that first possession, he actually showed for that three-point shot, too. I'm wondering what kind of range Potts has. It'll be interesting to see as this game progresses.
As Eric Mireri has the ball, directing the offense.
And on the stats, Potts is a 12% three-point shooter.
As Derek Morgan tries to get fancy with it, misses. And a foul will be called.
That's the second call that Morgan wanted on that first jump ball. He looked at the officials like there's no foul call, and now you can see Morgan was talking to the ref about how is that a foul on me on the loose ball. So early, their leader, Derek Morgan, one of only 2 sophomores for Marin, already maybe a little upset. We'll see if he can keep his composure here.
Andrew Mimai will inbound the ball, gives it to Maurice Campbell. The ball is stolen by Derek Morgan. Derek Morgan will be fouled, but misses the layup.
Yeah, they're just a lackadaisical play, not really paying attention to where Morgan was positioned defensively. Threw it right into the passing lane for Morgan to intercept. And Morgan went strong to the hoop, and he'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, Morgan also showing some explosiveness on that steal. He went straight up in the air And it was just like that, just at the snap of a finger.
Looking like Devin McCourty or Malcolm Jenkins, Super Bowl coming up.
Speaking of Super Bowl, what are your predictions for the game?
You know, the Eagles, Nick Foles, you can't be too comfortable with Nick Foles as your starting quarterback and Tom Brady's excellence. Maybe you need a 31-3 lead to really cement that instead of the 28-3. But it's going to be a tough task for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will have to lean more defensively and try to get to Tom Brady more than anything.
And they do have the personnel to do it with Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox.
Sterling Thomas gives it to Maurice Campbell. Campbell penetrates, and he took one too many steps.
And Thomas is the first sub in the game for Solano, checking in for Leon Williams. Solano started with the biggest lineup they could with both Kimball and Ross starting in the starting five for Solano, whereas Marin, we talked about the 2-6-9 guys, only have one in with Joey Potts.
As Marreri gives it to Morgan. Morgan gives it to Kelvin. Kelvin gives it to Marreri. Marreri gives it to Benegas. Benegas penetrates, goes up for the layup, misses. The ball is being tipped around. Rebound by Andrew Mimai.
And there's that group effort there. 3 Falcons jumping to try to secure that rebound. Mimai able to corral that one, get Solano the possession.
As Isaiah Dupultron puts up his first 3 of the game and hits it.
Has to be excited about that for Solano Falcon fans as Dupultron struggled in the last home game. That matchup against his brother. Obviously good to see Isaiah hit his first 3-point shot.
As Morgan has the ball, gives it to Marreri. Marreri gives it to Potts. Potts looking to pass it, looks for Benegas, but Benegas was not paying attention.
Yeah, just a miscommunication there. Potts threw the ball before making eye contact with his teammate. Benegas was looking inside at the post to try to maybe see if there was a cut or something. Just a miscommunication there. Went off his shoulder, and fortunate break for Solano.
As Dupultron gives it to Mimai. Mimai gives it to Thomas. Thomas finds Trayvon Ross down low. Ross gets the basket to go in, and the foul will be called on Eric Marreri.
Yeah, just a little late on that rotation from Marreri. It looked like he probably had either a foot in the restricted zone or he just showed up a little too late. Either way, 3-point opportunity for Trayvon Ross.
Yeah, Ross definitely a big part of this team. When he was out of the lineup, we've seen Solano really struggle with size. They don't struggle as much with Trayvon Ross in the game, and he also gives them a post presence.
Exactly, and then with him out of the lineup, Solano may get a little too 3 happy with their offense with no post presence like you mentioned, Anthony.
Derek Morgan drives to the basket and gets the shot to go in.
Yeah, very aggressive already is Derek Morgan going to the hole. Is trying to put a lot of English on the ball to make it go into the hoop. That's an interesting touch for a player at this level.
Yeah, and a turnover by Andrew Mimai.
And again, the athleticism of Morgan and just the explosiveness causing that turnover, flashing in the passing lane, and causing that deflection out of bounds.
Yeah, and Derek Morgan averaging 2 steals per game, so you have to kind of wonder about him in the passing lanes. As Cut Kelvin has the ball. Gives it to Morgan. Morgan tries to give it to Potts, but deflected by Ross. Morgan gives it to Cut Kelvin. Cut Kelvin misses. Rebound by Isaiah Dupultron.
And that rebound was allowed by Ross boxing out Potts beautifully, allowing Dupultron to get to the free space to get that rebound.
And Sterling Thomas puts up a 3, and he gets his first 3 of the game to go in.
So we talked early on about Marin being hot from 3-point range potentially with their pregame warm-ups. Solano hitting 2 early threes. They're up 5 here in this first half.
Eric Marreri has the ball, being guarded by Andrew Mimai. Marreri gives it to Derek Morgan. Morgan is fouled.
Yeah, so it's going to be off the ball foul, so it was on the drive, so they'll take it out of bounds.
And I believe the foul is on Sterling Thomas. And Solano making another substitution, trying to keep his players fresh.
Yeah. Rashad Tucker and Leon Williams, who started the game, and Rajon Washington all coming in, giving some of the starters a break, and Dupultron, Ross.
Morgan finds Potts. Potts gives it to Benegas. Benegas gives it to Morgan. Morgan gives it to Kelvin. Kelvin puts up another 3. Air balls, rebound by Washington. As Kimball will bring the ball up court. The ball was poked away by R.J. Kelvin.
And good from the mismatch of size. Kelvin just trying to use his explosiveness and his speed to bother Kimball on that possession, but able to just tip that out of bounds, stays Solano ball.
And Leon Williams penetrates but misses the layup. Rebound by Eric Marreri. Marreri putting on some moves. Goes up, misses, rebound by Tucker. And a jump ball will be called.
And the possession error is in favor of Solano, so they'll keep possession. But good hustle there by Morgan to force that. So next tie-up of possession will go Marin's way.
Yeah, Morgan lucky on that play because if it was a foul on Morgan, that would have been his second foul.
Like I mentioned, only one of 2 sophomores on this Marin's team. And before the game, I really liked what I saw in the pregame warm-ups. Right before they announced the starting lineups, they all got in a circle, and Morgan was right in the middle of that circle, and he looked each of his guys in his eye and said something to him. And it was just a really good team camaraderie moment that I was able to witness. And that's nice to see, especially at this point in the season where both seasons for both of these teams haven't gone the way that they would have wanted to. Both teams coming in with only 2 conference wins on the season. Marin only has 3 wins on the entire season, but yet they're not turning on each other team-wise. It looks like they have some good chemistry still, and that's hard when you're losing a lot like Marin has been on the season. So Morgan's leadership ability I was really impressed with before the game started.
As Tucker will inbound the ball. Tucker gives it to Washington. Washington gives it to Williams. Williams gives it to Thomas. Thomas looking to penetrate, puts on a spin move, and gets called for carrying.
Yeah, Thomas not too happy with that as he was setting up that spin move on Venegas, but the ref called him for carrying, just palmed the ball from below it to turning his wrist over.
Marreri brings the ball up court, gives it to number 0, Garrick Sherrod. Morgan gives it to Marreri. Marreri gives it to Benegas. Benegas penetrates. A blocking foul will be called. The shot will not count.
Yeah, just a little late on that rotation, Rashad Tucker. We've seen so often, it seems like every game, whenever he's in the ball game, he draws a charge. They're just a little too late on that one. But luckily, only 3 team fouls this early in the ball game.
As Sherrod misses the mid-range shot, rebound by Washington, but he throws it away.
Just a little small mental mistake there.
Yeah, sometimes you need to slow it down and take your time, and he's just in a rush to give Williams the ball.
Right.
As Marreri will inbound the ball, finds Sherrod. Sherrod gives it to Marreri for the 3. He misses. Rebound by Benegas. Benegas penetrates, goes up strong, misses. Rebound by Washington. And Washington gives it to Kimball. Kimball gives it to Williams to bring the ball up court.
Yeah, so far, Marin not executing that 3-point shot like we saw in pregame, so that has to be a good sight for Solano fans.
As Rashad Tucker misses the layup, rebound by Potts. Marreri will bring the ball up court. Marreri being guarded by Leon Williams. Marreri in trouble. Gets free, gives it to Sherrod. Sherrod misses, rebound by Morgan. Morgan finds Marreri, and Marreri misses. Rebound by Rashad Tucker.
Great opportunity created, though, by Morgan. He is their leading rebounder for Marin at only 6'4". And even at 6'4", he would be the tallest person on Solano's roster.
And Potts with the deflection. Marreri bring the ball up court. Gives it to Morgan. Morgan finds Potts. Potts misses, and a foul will be called.
Yeah, it was before the shot went up. It was on the pass, so it'll just be a blocking foul. Again, we mentioned it's early in the game, less than 13 minutes left in this first half, and so only a 4th team foul, which means they'll just inbound the ball. So you can stay aggressive if you're Solano on the defensive end up until the 7th team foul is when the bonuses start kicking in. The single bonus starts at 17 fouls. The double bonus starts at 10. And they only set at 4 right now.
And the big guy, Kevin Carman, has checked into the game, the 6'9", 295 center on Marin.
Yeah, he's built like a center in the NFL rather than a center in basketball at those dimensions.
Yeah, he could play some offensive tackle maybe, or guard at least.
Yeah. If he played guard in basketball, that'd be something.
Hey, we're seeing a lot of different things now in today's NBA. Off-ball foul was called.
Yeah, we were talking before the game just about the big men in the NBA. We talked about Nikola Jokic's triple-double. You don't see guys that size with that kind of basketball ability to create, but basketball is evolving, you know. The guys with size, that doesn't mean they can't have some small ball to their game.
Leon Williams gets the mid-range shot to go in. Eric Marreri brings the ball up court. Marreri looking to pass the ball. And we don't see too much ball movement as Marreri finds his teammate, and Carman cannot handle the pass. Leon Williams with a nice Euro step gets the layup to go in on the fast break.
Yeah, this is simply a one-on-one move. You got to beat your opponent, and Williams with a great Euro step to get Marreri to go for that first move and just kind of wipe him out of the play completely.
And the foul will be called on Sterling Thomas as Jack Soldovini, you know, he got away with one.
Yeah, that elbow was pretty high, and it looked like Thomas wasn't doing anything other than being in legal guarding position. I think the ref just wasn't – I think it was out of the periphery of his eye, so it just looked like the contact was on Thomas.
As number 3, Christopher Kress, airballs a 3. And just on the last possession, we've seen Trayvon Ross battling with Carman, and that has to be pretty, you know, a lot on your body.
Yeah.
Really just going to drain some energy, so look for Solano to really rotate big men throughout this game.
But, you know, just looking at Carman, it doesn't look like he's a legit 6'9". He's standing next to Ross, who's listed at 6'3". He's up to about his eyes, so maybe not as tall as listed, but definitely a big presence in the middle of the paint.
As Leon Williams with the nice hop step and gets the layup to go in.
Yeah, great aggressive play off the made bucket from Marin. Solano just hustled down the court. Speaking of hustle.
Scramble for the ball. And it will be the Falcons' ball.
Yeah, fortunate bounce went off of Carman's foot, according to the referee on the end line. So it will be Solano possession. That all started with Ross's extra effort there, denying the entry pass to the post. And Solano able to be active defensively, cause that turnover.
And Carman, he can't really move, as we've seen. I think it was Trayvon Ross that blew right past him.
Right.
But Ross just so happened to miss the shot. So.
Yeah, you can see why Potts is the starter and Carman's kind of the guy that relieves him. I think that's a smart rotation there from the coaching staff from Marin.
As Shirai has the ball, gives it to Soldovini. Soldovini finds Carman down low. Carman with a couple of pump fakes, and Trayvon Ross just gets him on the hand for the foul.
Such a smart move by Carman to go with the pump fake. With everybody being so short, if anybody wants to contest and make it a factor, they have to jump early in order to try to at least bother the shooting hand of Carman, but they're able to take advantage of Solano's aggressiveness with that pump fake, draws the foul.
And Kevin Carman shooting 68% from the free throw line this season.
That free throw stroke looked really good.
Yeah, especially for a center.
Mm-hmm.
The freshman center out of Newark Memorial High School. He's only a freshman, so
yeah,
he has another year.
Yeah, there's a lot of freshmen on this Marin basketball roster, which probably goes as to why they only had 2 conference wins. But hopefully for that program, this is just the beginning of a fruitful program next year with a lot of these players coming back.
Yeah, Morgan and Soldavini being the only 2 sophomores on the team. Everybody else is freshmen or freshmen. So they have a lot of grooming to do for next year. As Maurice Kimball will head to the free throw line. Kimball having a good season so far. You know, he's really changed what Solano has done. Like the past couple of years, we've seen Lorenzo Martinez, who was the center of the team. But we haven't seen Solano really have a big man that could put the ball on the ground like Maurice Kimball.
Right, and Kimball didn't get too much playing time in his freshman year, too. So coming in as one of the 2 returning players from last year's team in him and Rashad Tucker, obviously you get a sophomore in Leon Williams as well. But Kimball definitely stepped up his game and showed some leadership coming into his sophomore year, provided a nice both inside and out game from a post position. He usually plays the power forward or center positions. So Kimball has been a very nice, well-rounded player for Solano this year.
As Sherrod finds Benegas for the easy basket.
Yeah, just lost on that inbound play was Benegas, able to get away from his man Washington just enough to get that point-blank lay-in for the deuce.
As Maurice Kimball trying to get some room, which is very smart, taking Carmen off the dribble, but the Mariners had help down low. As Garrick Sherrod will bring the ball up court and set up the offense.
Yeah, Kimball had the right idea, just couldn't finish that play as he drew Carmen in just a little bit and used his speed to blow by him. As we mentioned, not the most fleet of foot is Carmen, but he does nail that 3.
Kevin Carmen nailing a 3-point shot, and this could be something for the Falcons to worry about.
Man, there are a lot of prop bets going on with the Super Bowl coming up. I did not have Kevin Carmen having the first 3-point shot for Marin.
As Maurice Campbell gives it to Andrew Mimai. Mimai hits the 3-point shot, and that's something from Andrew Mimai we didn't see earlier in the season. He was really hesitant to shoot the ball, but the last couple of games he's been letting loose.
Yeah, maybe that's just the adjustment, this being his freshman year in community college basketball. Maybe he's just, you don't want to be out there on the court overthinking things. You just want to play naturally in the flow of the game. But maybe it just took some games within the season for Mimai to adjust to this style of basketball, and there just let it rip from 3, and he drained that 3-point shot.
As Leon Williams and Trayvon Ross will come back into the game, and Kevin Carmen will go back to the free throw line. Just look how big Carmen looks.
Yeah, they're on the screen, Mimai and Anthony Jones there on the free throw line. Towers above them.
As he misses the free throw, Solano will bring the ball up court.
Yeah, that was the front end of a 1-on-1, with that being the 7th team foul for Solano. And so they're fortunate that he missed the first, because when he misses, he can't get that second free throw opportunity.
As Dupulchan puts up a 3, misses, rebound by Derek Morgan.
And now Carmen's right on average. He averages about 2 free throws made and 3 free throws taken. And so after hitting 2 of 2, missing that third one. Right on with the statistics there, Anthony.
As Carmen tries to find Benegas down low, but can't really get the ball to him. And he threw the ball in traffic. So that's something a freshman mistake, freshman mistake.
Yeah. I want to make another Super Bowl reference there. Just hope Nick Foles doesn't do that. Throw into traffic.
We believe in Foles. Leon Williams has the ball. Williams being guarded by Benegas. Williams puts up a 3, misses. Rebound by Marreri.
Yeah, that's a shot if you're Williams. You have to make if you're going to make that decision to kind of catch everybody off guard that early in the shot clock. So it's great if you make it, but if you don't, it's maybe not the most advised shot.
And Derek Morgan with a nice layup.
Yeah, he just floats in the air, and he has such great body control. You can tell he's very comfortable at the rim. So no surprise there that he's the leading scorer for Marin at 17.8 points per game.
Yeah, and getting back to Solano's last possession where Williams put up the three, I seen a video where Trae Young was practicing a jab step, and like out of the jab step, he'll pull up for a three, and he's just like hitting all net. And somebody said, oh, Trae Young never takes bad shots because he practices all of the shots that he takes. Yeah,
that kind of reminds me of a story early on in the season. Patrick Ewing finally got his head coaching job at the college he goes to at Georgetown, and he was mic'd up for a segment, and he was kind of getting on one of his post players for making a fadeaway kind of Dirk Nowitzki-esque move, and he was like, do you practice that? And the player was like, yeah. And he's like, when? Because if you don't practice the moves that you execute on the court and you're just kind of winging it, then it's not the same as if you're in the gym putting in the work on a specific shot that the coaches are comfortable with you taking.
Yeah, like Kobe Bryant practicing the turnaround fadeaway shot 300 times or more each practice session. So it's just something you have to practice, and if you don't, you could expect your butt to be on the bench.
Yeah. Coaches won't be too happy with shots that aren't typically thought of as safe or something along those lines.
Yeah, there aren't too many players that have a green light. I don't think anybody has more of a green light than Steph Curry or Kevin Durant, maybe Klay Thompson too. So if I could get that kind of green light, then I could put up more shots.
And then if you apply that to Solano, like you can look at some of the players that you think have a green light too, and like Donovan Smith from a few years ago, Hosea Barfield. So obviously, if Coach Nagel has some trust in you and he sees that you're putting in the work, he's a coach that allows his players to kind of have a green light sometimes.
As Marreri being guarded by Duplichan. Marreri goes to the basketball, poked away by Duplichan. Morgan feeds Carmen. Carmen gets the basket to go in.
Yeah, they're just the size. Mimai over there for the help defense, but even with both hands up, not going to do anything in the way of contesting the 6'9" Kariman.
Leon Williams has the ball. Setting up the offense, uses the screen by Ross. Finds Duplichan for the three, and Duplichan hits his second three-point shot of the game.
Yeah, that's just a great play drawn up by Coach Nagel and the offense. Mimai with a great off-ball screen to free up that three-point shot.
Marreri has the ball. Marreri uses the screen by Carmen. Finds Benegas. Benegas gives it to Kress. Kress puts a move on Leon Williams, but misses the shot. And rebound by Derek Morgan. And Anthony Jones will be called for the foul.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part of basketball. Sometimes you just get undercut, especially when you're so explosive like Morgan is, and he jumps so high that when a guy's trying to box you out, he ends up being under you when you're up in the air. Nothing malicious from Jones's part, just a factor of positioning for Morgan being such a explosive leaper. And he'll be put on the line.
Yeah, I remember this one time in practice when I played AAU for the Vallejo Knights. Shout out to them. I tried to block my friend, and I jumped so high that my foot hit his shoulder, and I flipped over and landed on my back and got the wind knocked out of me. So,
yeah, I've never jumped so high that I had my foot on anybody's shoulder.
Yeah, I had my athleticism back then, and I was much skinnier, so I was an athlete back then.
I bet with our size difference, you can, with enough training, maybe you could jump high enough to have your foot on my shoulder.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to repeat that moment.
Speaking of training, we have a challenge that we need to get on the books, on the record. Last game, I was on the TriCaster during the women's game. You said that you could beat R.J. Johnson in a race. We need to make that happen on SCSN.
We could definitely make that happen anytime.
So stay tuned, folks. We're definitely, that has to be a fun little, side event of having one of our broadcasters race our star women's athlete.
Yeah, former track star too at Fairfield High School, R.J. Johnson. She's definitely an athlete, and with her sophomore year almost ending, we're definitely going to miss her here at Solano.
Yeah, we talk about the sophomores. I think that's a good perspective to have on these last 2 games for Solano. Not in contention for the Bay Valley Conference for these guys, but for these sophomores, just try to enjoy the experience of playing with your teammates here at Solano, like for Kimball, for Tucker, for Leon Williams. So those are some sophomores that we've come accustomed to and really enjoyed covering this last year and year plus for some of them.
Andrew Mimai has the ball. Mimai being guarded by Kelvin. As Duplatron puts up a 3, and that one rattles out.
Yeah, halfway down the basket. Just unfortunate bounce.
And Duplatron comes up with the block on the other end. And after the last game, Duplatron wants to come out and be very aggressive and get it going early.
And that's a really intriguing matchup athletically with Derek Morgan and Isaiah Duplatron.
As Morgan tries to find Potts and almost gets the alley-oop from the inbound. And the ball is being tapped around.
So that'll be Solano's possession. But again, we saw the inbound play with Potts earlier work for the dunk. That one, Potts was just jumped from a little too far away from the basket, not able to get the vertical, and just didn't have enough wingspan to put that one home.
Yeah, maybe an inch more, and he would have got that one. Duplatron brings the ball up court. Duplatron gives it to Mimai. Mimai gives it to Thomas. Thomas gives it to Washington. Washington to Ross. Ross penetrates, and a foul will be called on Marin as Trayvon Ross will head to the free throw line.
So Benegas drawing the foul. I think he was also in the restricted zone. So those are some little things that need to be cleaned up when you're struggling as a team defensively, is know how to be in legal guarding position in time on those rotations. It's such a tricky thing, especially when the game's so fast, to kind of rotate in time and be in legal guarding position. But that's something that this young team can look to improve upon, as a lot of these players can come back for their sophomore years next year.
Yeah, I believe I was talking to my other partner, Dane, who isn't here right now, and I was telling him about the Miami Heat, how they used to take charges all the time, and James Jones, Shane Battier, Udonis Haslam. You would see LeBron take some, and Dwayne Wade, and it was just like one of the key parts of their defense. As Marreri has the ball. Marreri finds Potts. Potts gives it back to Marreri. Marreri being guarded by Duplatron. Duplatron pokes the ball away again. Marreri tries to save it. Duplatron gets the ball. Duplatron racing down court. Goes up for the mid-range shot. And he just gets it to go in.
Yeah, that was good awareness of Duplatron to just kind of survey the defense as all of Marin was hustling back. Nobody really picked up the ball. They were just all sort of trying to get in the passing lanes. So Duplatron pulling up. It's very hard to control yourself to stop on a dime and pop up to be comfortable with that jump shot, but he was able to get that friendly bounce for the 2.
Marreri pulls up in front of Thomas and gets the ball to go in.
Yeah, it looks like early on in this first half, Marreri, the ball kind of sticks when he has possession of the ball, so Solano can really use that to their advantage defensively.
Duplatron hits his third three-point shot of the game.
Yeah, Duplatron feeling it in this game.
Marreri has the ball being guarded by Duplatron.
See, this is what I'm talking about. There's a lot of moves from Marreri before he decides to give up that ball.
As Potts goes up strong against Washington, and the ball is nearly stolen by Kelvin.
That's the second time. Solano just a little overly lackadaisical in the passing, just kind of assuming that the defender is going to run back. But then when they make a hustle play, Solano's just fortunate that that ball wasn't able to be stolen and just tipped out of bounds.
As Leon Williams will bring the ball up court. Williams gives it to Tucker. Tucker gives it to Kimball. Kimbo gets it to Thomas. Thomas finds Ross. Ross goes in strong. Misses. Rebound by Joey Potts. Ball is stolen by Kimbo. And Kimbo gets the ball to go in.
Great play there. When you're 6'9", I'm not sure why you bring the ball down when you rebound. I think that's just a natural tendency everybody has. But when you're 6'9", you really want to keep that ball high just for that exact reason, for smaller defenders being able to steal the ball. Speaking of steals.
Sterling Thomas gets the ball. And he goes up against Potts and gets the layup to go in.
And this is interesting. Marin going with the Twin Towers look of both Kariman and Potts in the game at the same time.
Yeah, they're really trying to shut down the paint against the Solano Falcons and force them to put up a lot of threes as Mareri shoots a three of his own, misses. Rebound by Kimbo. And Kimbo had Williams wide open down court but misses him as Ross finds Sterling Thomas for a three. Thomas misses. Rebound by Derek Morgan. Morgan will bring the ball up court. Morgan being very aggressive. Finds Potts. Potts finds Kelvin. Kelvin to Mareri. And Mareri misses the three. Rebound by Kariman. Kariman finds Derek Morgan. Morgan gets the ball to go in.
That's the other thing size gets you, is a clear vision of the court, as the 6'3" guards, or forwards, excuse me, that are guarding Kariman. He's just able to see above them and see that Morgan was in great position under the bucket. Great vision from Kariman on that assist.
As Maurice Kimbo puts up a three in front of Joey Potts' face and gets the ball to go in.
Yeah, not the length able to bother Kimball you would expect from Potts. Obviously, when a guy much taller than you is out there, he doesn't want to get too close to you so that the player can drive by them, so he has to respect the distance there. And so Kimball's three-point shooting ability is benefited on that exchange.
Morgan penetrates, and Rashad Tucker gets the charge this time.
You know it was eventually going to happen with Tucker's propensity for drawing fouls on the defensive end. So good hustle play yet again from Tucker.
Yeah, and, I have to give it to Tucker because I took a charge one time, and it was when I was younger, and we played older people with my AAU team, and the guy's knee went into my stomach, and I never took a charge after that again.
Yeah, with the 5'6" Tucker with a couple 6'9" guys out there, that could very well happen if he decides to take a charge against some of these forwards.
And Maurice Kimbo goes to the basket aggressively and gets the layup to go in.
And then we talked about the blow-by. So Kimball showing that he can hit the three and then that he can go around them and finish. So just a good matchup for Kimball going in favor of Solano.
Yes. Potts gets the ball to Carman. Carman gets the easy layup to go in.
And that's the unfortunate thing of face guarding a 6'9" guy, is that if they are able to connect with that pass, it's a pretty easy look for that forward or center.
As Potts blocks Kimbo, and Kelvin almost gets the half-court shot to go in.
Yeah, that was good awareness. I wasn't realizing that the clock was about to run out.
See, that's why you're up here.
Yeah,
Brian,
exactly. I couldn't make the cut. Like I cut Kelvin there.
Cut Kelvin.
Yeah.
And with the score of 41-29 at the half, Brian, what did you see from Solano that you really liked?
I really like the matchup, especially that last part of Kimball against the bigs, able to either go around the much slower Potts and Kariman, or be able to stretch the floor by shooting the three. And we talked about the potential for Marin's three-point game to show up because they were hitting it in pre-games, not so much a factor, and the three-point differential is by far in way of Solano. So if Duplatron and Kimball can stay hot, and if you can maybe include some contributions from Leon Williams, one of the best all-around players for Solano, then Solano looks like they're on their way for their third conference victory.
And how can Solano slow down Joey Potts and Kevin Carman?
Really, it's just a matter of just hustle and keep face guarding them with Ross and Kimball. And if they're making errant passes, then you can steal the ball. And if there's a missed shot, just make sure you're boxing out like the way that you're doing, because they haven't been dominant on the boards, and they should be. So Solano's doing a good job on the boards in that respect.
Yeah, again, with the score of 41-29, Solano up by 12 points. We will be back with the second half.
Hi, I'm Dr. Celia Esposito Noy. Thanks for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
welcome to the first episode of On Campus with McKenna Guerrero. And if you're wondering who that is, that's me. I'm here with the legend Greg Poff. So, Poff, tell us about how you got started here at Solano and why you chose to come here.
You know, it was a complete accident, really. I mean, I grew up in Southern California. I had been teaching community colleges in Southern California. And the only reason I came up to Northern California, I came up to Chabot Community College, and it was just a one-year full-time coaching replacement for the individuals that was coaching the speech and debate team at that time. So I came up to Chabot, and I just threw everything in the back of my van, got rid of everything else, drove up here, because I was thinking I'll be up here for a year and back to SoCal. Well, Chabot had a pretty good year as far as the speech and debate team, and then I met Gary DeBelbus, who was coaching the Solano speech and debate team at a tournament. He was really into sports, so we kind of hit it off. And then Solano had a position open up in February of 1996, and so I applied, got that job in the summer. And I was thinking, I'll just stay at Solano 3-4 years and then try to get back down to Southern California, get a full-time gig down there. Well, I just haven't made it back to Southern California.
So you've been here for 21 years.
I have. It's been a while. I still kind of think that I'm from SoCal. I'm eventually going to get back there, but
that's what we all say.
Yeah, that's right. You're from San Diego.
Yeah. But your whole family went to Solano as well.
Yeah, both my boys went to Solano Community College, and then, as you know, you work with my youngest son, Zach, at Max Preps, and my other son, Jake, just graduated with his master's degree in communication. That was a miracle, but that happened.
So what do you, what do you like about Solano? Or
I love the students here.
The students.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't left. Teaching in Southern California is cool, but I taught at Orange Coast College, I was at El Camino, Long Beach City College, Riverside Community College, and although those are pretty big community colleges, which is cool, but then you get up here to Solano and you get a different student, a little more diversity, but students here just don't have all the opportunities available that you have in Southern California. So as a result, the students up here, at least my experience, they're grinders. They work hard. And so when I started coaching speech and debate, I was getting kids, maybe not the most talented, but they were willing to put in the work. And if you get students that are willing to work hard, you can be successful. And I think that's what's always kept me here at Solano. I really enjoy the student population.
Well, so you did the speech and debate team, and then you started the sports broadcasting program here.
Yeah, like I don't have enough to do with coaching speech and debate. That takes a lot of time. And kind of my idea was I was going to stay in coaching until both my sons came through. And my son Jake finished in 2009. So I was going to be done with forensics, just focus on teaching, public speaking, wanted to still continue to teach some other classes. But my younger son, Zach, wanted to go into sports broadcasting. Make a long story short, couldn't really find any programs on the college level that focused specifically on sports broadcasting. So we created the sports broadcasting class in communication studies, and that just kind of took off. Then we got together with Fairfield Cable Access, met Bill Way. Then we had the merger with Fairfield Cable because we really didn't have the equipment, and I didn't have a budget or anything to get any of the equipment we would need for a sports broadcasting program. But once we merged with Fairfield Cable Access, then we struck a deal where they can use our studio space, but they bring all of their equipment in. So just like that, we had a furnished studio, we had all kinds of equipment, and then once we got to that level, the program's just kind of taken off. And now we pretty much cover most of the Solano home athletic events through our Solano College Sports Network. So it's really created a great hands-on opportunity where students can get a lot of practical experience in the field of sports broadcasting, now not just in front of the camera, but also behind the camera with all the technical aspects as well.
Now, since the sports broadcasting program covers all the sports, do you have a relationship with the teams and the coaches, or are you just kind of there?
No, that's been really cool, and I've always had a lot of athletes in my classes while I've been teaching here at Solano, and I've always supported athletics. I mean, even before sports broadcasting, I'd go to the football games, catch some basketball games, watch a few baseball games as well. But now, I mean, we work so closely with all of the coaches and with the student athletes as well. Now we bring them in, we do interviews, we do media day for the baseball team, for example. So that's really been cool. Also, I've had a chance to really work closely with Eric Visser, the athletic director. What a great guy. He's done a tremendous job here as well. So no, it's been a collaborative effort. We couldn't do what we do unless we had the cooperation of the coaches, the students, the athletic department. My dean, Neil Glines, has been really, really supportive as well. So it's really taken a lot to get this program to where it is now, and there's a lot of people who are responsible.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who has been one of your favorite athletes that have come out of Solano, that are either playing now or in the past?
You had a chance to do an interview with the person that I'm going to talk about.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
When we did the very first baseball game of the year, we had a lot of Solano alumni. Zach Wells would probably be overall my favorite student athlete. In fact, if you were a coach, you played on the baseball team. I mean, if you just wanted to have a model of the perfect student athlete, it would be Zach Wells. Great in the classroom, great teammate, works really hard, and not a big rah-rah guy that wants...
He seems really humble.
He is. I'll tell you this, he did not like taking my public speaking class. He had to really work through that, but he's got good communication skills, and he finished his career back in 2013, and he's still playing. I mean, he's playing professional ball right now. I believe he's with the Angels AA team. And the thing about Zach Wells, too, he's the only former Solano athlete that I know of that actually has been #1 in SportsCenter top 10 plays of the evening. In fact, I was watching SportsCenter one evening with my son Zach, and when they got to #1, Zach Wells, he was playing for a minor league team. He actually ran through the outfield fence as he caught a ball. The fence crashed. You didn't see him for a couple seconds, and then he comes running back with the ball. That kid's my favorite player.
Oh yeah, hands down. So we're going to get back on the topic for sports broadcasting. What does it take to be in your class?
It really just takes a willingness to maximize your full potential and to outwork the competition. I mean, you know, as someone who's going into the field of sports broadcasting, it's a tough field to get into. But any broadcaster that you talk to that's been successful, the one thing they all agree on, the key to success, is you got to put in the work. And so for me, if I get students that are willing to put in the time, that are willing to put in the effort, then I'm going to try to give them every opportunity they can have in order to be successful.
So is there any advice that you would give to a student before taking your class, though, just so they can handle you?
No, I don't want to scare them away. So that's the key. You know, be real nice, get them in the, and then once you got them locked in. But you know, I only get upset if somebody isn't doing what they're supposed to.
That's true.
Right? Do your job, work hard, you're going to do great in this program.
So what are your plans to even further the program even more?
Well, what we'd really like to do now, and we're kind of doing this, is to venture beyond sports. And so we've actually created a show called It's More Than Just Sports, where we try to highlight issues that maybe aren't specifically or indirectly related to sports. But I'd really like to take our broadcast program here and branch out, so we're doing it all. We're covering news. Even it would be nice to get some shows that aren't related to sports. In fact, we've even talked about a show where a life in the student. We just follow a student around and find out here's what the typical day is like for a community college student.
It's interesting. More people are going to come watch that, and especially people like to watch themselves on TV.
Absolutely,
so,
and I really believe that there is a market for local television. Because what we can do is we can cover stuff locally that national networks just aren't going to cover. So that's one thing we've been doing, is also trying to build up our viewership on Fairfield Cable Access's Channel 28. and Fairfield Cable, they've been great. They
Yeah.
let us use Channel 28 to put not only our games on, but also any shows that we come up with.
And we did concerts that one time.
We did a concert, absolutely right.
Yeah, it was really cool, the MMA.
Yeah, so we've really branched out and done a lot of things, but that's what I would like to do to grow the program. Continue to branch out, because ultimately we just want to give students as many opportunities as possible to be successful. And the one thing we really try to do here is we try to give students the hands-on practical experience. And you know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, you get into the field and maybe you're starting out as an intern. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities to sit down and do an interview, to be talking into the microphone in front of the camera. But here at the college, we have lots of opportunities. So I would rather get students in and having them working on stuff. Maybe it's not the best, but we'll continue to get better because the hands-on practical experience is what you really need. When you graduate, you've got your bachelor's in broadcast journalism or whatever it is, but that employer wants to know how many hours experience do you have. That's what we can do for anybody who's interested in going into the field in sports broadcasting. We can really help you to pile up your hours of experience here in our program at Solano Community College.
I know a lot of people ask me when they ask about the program, they're like, do you really need to know a lot about sports? And I say, well, I mean, you should have a little bit of knowledge, but I mean, what do you think? Do you have to completely know every single sport by the back of your hand?
Absolutely not. If you're willing to work, we'll find a job for you. I mean, your knowledge of sports, it helps when you're on a camera, but we can teach you the camera shots that you need to get for whatever broadcast that we're doing. And when you're doing computer graphics, you're working on the switcher board, all of those skills, it's not respective of just sports, right? You're using skills and techniques that you can use in any field of broadcasting. So absolutely, you can walk into the door of the TV studio in room 121, have no knowledge of sports. We've got a place for you here at the Solano College Sports Network.
And talk about the sports broadcasting certificate and what you get out of that.
So what we've done now, we've become an official certificated technical educational program. And all that really means is for students who are in the area and maybe they don't want to come to Solano and then transfer and get that bachelor's degree, but they're looking more for opportunities to get some training and get into the workforce. That's what we can do for you in the field of broadcasting here at Solano. You don't necessarily have to come here thinking I've got to transfer, get the bachelor's degree. You can come here, you can take our 4 classes. We have 4 sports broadcasting classes, which will give you 400 hours of experience, and that should give you enough to be ready for an entry-level position in the field of sports broadcasting.
Well, thank you so much, Pa, for telling us about the sports broadcasting program. Obviously, it's helped me a lot, so thank you for that.
Well, one thing I do want you to work on in this, no, McKenna, you have done, when I talk about students that work hard, you are the model. I mean, you started here when, 2015 in the fall, and I think that very first year, we did 83 games total, if you count the summer. I don't think you missed a game.
No, I didn't.
Right? And you've already landed a job in sports broadcasting, and you're not even finished with the program. That's what hard work will do. That's what grinding it out will do. I think you're the perfect model of that. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Well, this is the first episode of On Campus with McKenna Guerrero, and that's me. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
And the pitch, swinging a deep drive to right field. There she goes into the night, and that is a home run. Are they saying he caught it? Are they saying he caught that? He went over the fence and caught it. My goodness. The right fielder, Zach Wells, watching the replay here on the sprint. Gets back to the wall, catches it, flips over the fence. So not gone into the night, gone into the glove of Zach Wells, the right fielder. A spectacular catch.
If you have an interest in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether it's behind the scenes or on camera,
then this is the class for you.
Class is held every Wednesday from 1:30 to 4:30 in room 121 alongside the library building.
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
We hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports. It's an education.
Are back for the second half. Marin will take control of the ball. Eric Marreri has the ball. Marreri tries to give it to Benegas, but the ball was almost stolen by Maurice Kimball.
Yeah, good overplay there by Kimball. He had good positioning defensively on Benegas, just not able to corral that one as he dribbled it off his foot there. But exact same starting lineups as the start of the game here in the second half.
As Benegas has the ball, finds Marreri. Marreri is fouled by Maurice Kimball.
So a rather choppy start as a tip out of bounds and then a quick foul. Gotta be tough for Marin to kind of get their offense going as they're stopping and starting a lot.
Marreri has the ball being guarded by Isaiah Dupulchon.
I like to see Marreri just pass the ball a little bit more. It just seems like the ball gets stuck when he's in control of the ball. Love to see a little bit more flow offensively from Marreri.
Benegas tries to get a layup to go in, but it bounces out. Leon Williams will bring the ball up court.
This looks like Marin will start man-to-man defensively.
Williams uses the screen from Ross.
Great mismatch opportunity if they want to exploit that. Williams and Potts.
Williams being guarded by Joey Potts. Williams with the step back, misses. Rebound by Kirk Kelvin.
Just too much length there on the contest. Good job by Potts denying any sort of entry into the paint, and good closeout there using that wingspan to his advantage.
Derek Morgan hits Leon Williams with a nice hesitation move and gets the layup to go in.
Absolutely, that little hezzy right in the paint. And Williams bought on that one, freed him up easily for that first bucket of the second half.
Trayvon Ross finds cutting Maurice Kimball, and I believe Derek Morgan will pick up the foul.
Yeah, it was a nice find there by Ross. A little arm check there from Morgan defensively.
Andrew Mimai will inbound the ball.
So with the foul, the shot clock resets to 20, so Solano plenty of time to initiate their offense.
Isaiah Dupulchon with the mid-range shot and gets it to go in.
A little veteran move with a little push off with that left arm, just subtle enough that the refs aren't going to call it, but able to create some space off of Marreri. And so Dupulchon's game continues from his hot first half to the second with that first shot.
Derek Morgan looking to penetrate. Goes up and gets the layup to go in.
Just using that advantage of Potts' size. Potts' defender can't necessarily help like he would with a smaller player, so that allows some space for Morgan to drive.
Andrew Mimai penetrates and gets the layup to go in, yes. And the Mariners have numbers, but Isaiah Dupulchon comes up with the block to stop the fast break.
Yeah, it seems like something that Solano's doing well is answering quickly off of Marin-made baskets. There, Mimai not really allowing a slow development to the offense, but seeing an opportunity and taking it.
As Derek Morgan hits Joey Potts with the alley-oop, and they finish this time.
So that's the third time they've gone to that play. Solano has to be very aware on the inbounds. They're going to want to try to oop it to Potts and use that size to their advantage.
Yeah, Solano, they have to stay in front of Potts and just keep him out of the paint. As Trayvon Ross tries to go against Potts, gets his rebound, goes up again, and gets the basket to go in. Trayvon Ross really showing off his muscles in this second half.
Yeah, he tried to use that strength on the very first play of the game when he drove against Potts, and there using some up fakes to try to get when you're that much taller than your opponent, you're not going to necessarily leap on those pump fakes, but it allows Potts' contest to be off balance, not really time the block shot, so it got him enough space to get him to make that basket.
And Trayvon Ross gets the free throw to go in, completing the and one. As Marreri has the ball. Marreri trying to find Cut Kelvin. Cut Kelvin has the ball, gives it back to Marreri. Marreri uses the screen from Benegas. Marreri puts a shoulder down and gets Dubeltron to commit the foul.
So a couple of team fouls for both sides early on in this second half with 16:50 left in the ball game. Solano leads by 13.
Benegas is stripped, but Derek Morgan gets the ball and misses the layup.
Yeah.
Solano comes up with the ball. Isaiah Dubeltron has the ball. Dubeltron gives it to Ross. Ross to Williams. Williams to Dubeltron. Dubeltron to Kimball. Kimball penetrates, goes up against Morgan, and gets the basket to go in. And a little stare down from Kimball to Morgan.
Yeah, I think there's some trash talking going on between those two players going back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but when Morgan hit Williams with that hesitation move, Morgan kind of flexed at Williams, and Kimball responded.
Yeah, Morgan kind of reminds me in terms of his demeanor sometimes of Duplatron for Solano, in that they're very fiery players. They're not afraid to, tussle up a little bit and trash talk a little bit. So Morgan definitely has that sort of aspect to his game of if he's going to make a good play on you, he's going to let you know.
Yeah, like that fiery that like somebody like Draymond Green has that could kind of rally your team together. And offensive foul will be called on Eric Marreri.
And he's not too happy about it as that fell away from the ball. And we'll look at a replay here of
little technical difficulties. As Andrew Mimai has the ball, being guarded by R.J. Kelvin. Mimai uses the screen from Washington, but Kelvin stays with him. Sterling Thomas for the three, misses. Rebound by Andrew Mimai. And they had numbers, but Mimai did not take advantage of it and gets called for a carry.
So a turnover again by Solano, but they are up 15 here in the second half. They've been playing very well against Marin.
As Marreri will bring the ball up court. And like you said, Marreri, he dribbles a lot, and it kind of stalls the offense. As Derek Morgan gives the ball to Marreri. Marreri finds Cut Kelvin across court. Cut Kelvin with the pull-up jump shot. Misses, but the ball is tipped in by Derek Morgan.
Yeah, that leaping ability. You can jump when you can out-tip your 6'9" center on the exact same ball, and so Morgan showing his ups. But you talk about shot selection there. Cut Kelvin with a running off-balance jumper, not exactly the shot you want if you're Marin.
Yeah, kind of that Russell Westbrook when he shuffles his feet and just pulls up for a jump shot. As Joey Potts gets the rebound, Marreri will bring the ball up court. Marreri finds Cut Kelvin. Cut Kelvin being guarded by Sterling Thomas. Cut Kelvin gives it to Morgan. Morgan gives it to Cut Kelvin for the corner three. He misses. Rebound by Rajon Washington.
See, even though he didn't make it, that was a much better shot selection. Both of his feet were set on that shot. If you're a coach, you got to be happy with that. With Morgan drawing a defender, you get a clear open look. You just got to execute next time.
As Trayvon Ross pulls up for three, misses. Rebound by Sterling Thomas. And the ball is stripped. Eric Marreri has the ball. Marreri being guarded by Leon Williams. Marreri trying to find somebody. Pulls up for a mid-range shot. Misses. Rebound by Rajon Washington. Leon Williams will bring the ball up court. Williams finds Washington. Washington gives it to Williams. And Solano not moving at all. They're not showing any off-ball movement as Kelvin deflects the ball off of Andrew Mimai, and it will be the Mariners' ball.
Yeah, I think the substitution is important to kind of generate a little bit more flow offensively for Solano. They're kind of stalling in the half court. What could benefit them is defensively if they can cause some turnovers, get some maybe open court, fast break opportunities. Maybe that can get the offense going. But you can't just be content with this 13-point lead. You want to build upon it.
Jack Soldavini checks into the game, and Benegas penetrates and will draw the foul. The foul will be called on Leon Williams.
That was before the shot, so they'll take the ball out of bounds. Kevin Curryman also checked in with Soldavini for Marin, and now Duplatron checking in for Leon Williams.
And Marreri will look to inbound. And the Mariners call a timeout. Couldn't find anybody to get the ball to, and that's kind of what happens when you don't have Potts in the game.
Right, when you have a go-to play and that player's not in the lineup, it's difficult for Marin to kind of have a go-to play. They tried to get Carmen to post up initially and try to maybe bounce pass it in, but it was a good contest there from Solano to kind of face guard the big man and deny the entry pass.
Yeah, Kevin Carmen doesn't have the same athleticism as Joey Potts. And when there's two people, one in front of Carmen and one in back of him, you can't really just toss the ball up there and give the ball to him in the post.
Especially when possessions are so important in this game and you're down by double digits. You want to be really smart with the ball, not have any careless turnovers like a silly entry pass on a inbound play.
Soldavini gives the ball to Marreri. Marreri gives it to Carmen. The ball is stolen by Sterling Thomas. Thomas one-on-one with Marreri, and Thomas gets the fast break layup to go in.
Yeah, it's good composure. Marreri was coming fast, but he just kind of let him blow by him, and it was good composure there from Thomas to just kind of let him go by him when he was at full sprint and then lay it up and in for the EC2.
Yeah, Marreri, he didn't look to actually contest the shot as he just ran by him, and that's where Leon Williams hit the Euro step on him and got the basket to go in. Yeah, so everybody can't be LeBron James, obviously.
Yeah, if there's a LeBron James at the community college level, they'll probably be signed to a Division I really quickly.
Yeah, and if he's not, then something's definitely wrong, and he needs to be, tested immediately. Benegas gets the first free throw to go in. Benegas shooting 64% from the free throw line this season.
And Trayvon Ross checking into the ball game for Solano, giving Maurice Kimball a break.
Benegas, the freshman forward out of Albany High School. And a foul will be called on Kevin Carmen, and it will be Solano's ball.
Again, good boxing out. We talked about the importance of that when you're at the size disadvantage. There on that missed free throw, Trayvon Ross, really great positioning, and it caused Carmen to reach over him to try to get that rebound, and he wasn't able to. So that's the benefit and the fruits of your labor for putting in that work defensively and boxing out really well for Trayvon Ross.
Yeah, when big men get boxed out and they can't do anything, they tend to push off and push people in the back, and that's where you pick up fouls.
And if maybe you can hear that noise in our headsets, that's Dylan Collins, one of our former broadcast colleagues here on Solano College Sports Network, doing the PA here, announcing, I think the Girl Scouts are here selling cookies.
Oh, Lord, I got my wallet in my pocket now.
Yeah, we know what you're doing between the men's and the women's game, huh?
I'll think about it. I don't have any cash on me right now, so that's the problem.
They usually have the little square for the phones. Oh. I used to do PA for a lot of the games, and that was part of the PA read. They had the square, so if you want to charge your card.
Oh, yeah, it's on and popping.
Well, what's your go-to Girl Scout cookie?
It would be the Thin Mints, maybe, or the peanut butter kind. My mom used to always get the peanut butter kind, but I always liked the thin mints.
Yeah.
So.
I'm allergic to cookies, man. So.
Oh man, Brian.
Yeah.
Killing me.
And there you can kind of see in the background of that shot Coach Borch's wife and his daughter, who's one of the Girl Scouts selling cookies here. Always a family-friendly atmosphere here at Solano.
Rashad Tucker being guarded by R.J. Kelvin. Tucker gives it to Thomas. Thomas trying to find Dupulchan, gives the ball to Dupulchan. Dupulchan gives the ball to Tucker. Tucker penetrates to the basket, finds Thomas cutting. Thomas gets fouled by Kevin Corriman, and Thomas will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, Corriman not too happy with that foul call, but it was a great cut by Sterling Thomas away and a good find from Tucker to get that point-blank opportunity. And so Thomas will look to shoot these 2 free throws, extend the Solano lead here in the second half. Hits that first.
Sterling Thomas hits the first free throw. And Thomas has been a factor in this game, really spreading the court for the Falcons. And he shoots 85% from the free throw line this season, as he gets both free throws to go down.
Yeah, one of the better percentages you'll ever see in a community college, shooting over 80. As a basketball fan, when you look at statistics, you kind of have to keep in mind that these are just community college players. And so, like, you're looking at team statistics, and you're shocked when they're not shooting 50 from the field, 40 from 3, because you're just so used to the pro game. But an 85% free throw percentage at this level is very good, very consistent for Thomas.
Yeah, and Jack Soldovini got away with another elbow as he hit Rajon Washington in the face, and the foul was on Washington. So the referees should definitely look out for that. Rashad Tucker has the ball, gives it to Sterling Thomas. Thomas gives it to Ross, but an off-ball foul will be called.
And so that'll put Marin in the penalty, the single bonus. So Rashad Tucker will shoot 1-1.
Tucker shooting just under 70% from the free throw line this season.
So it's going to be important for him to make this first, because if he hits the first, he gets the second free throw. If he misses here, it's a live ball, and Marin can rebound and change possessions. And with it being 11:55 left in the ball game, that's a long time to be in the bonus. So I think they're changing it to just a 16 foul. So no free throws, but the situation sort of stays the same. Next foul will put them in the bonus.
Trayvon Ross miscommunicates with Rajon
Great
Washington.
hustle.
Yeah, great hustle by Isaiah Dupulchan, saving the ball, but it will be Marin's ball anyway.
Yeah, Washington he tried to adjust as there were 2 Mariner defenders surrounding him, just stepped on that end line. So little miscommunication there from Solano. We've seen that from both sides, so a little sloppy play that needs to be cleaned up both ways.
As Mareri hits Rajon Washington with a push-off, but Mareri did not get the ball to go down. Solano gets the ball, and a foul will be called on Marin.
Okay, so that was the confusion there. It was they had given the foul previously to the Solano side when they had 16 fouls. So now Marin has 7, and so now Tucker shoots that 1-on-1. So all that analysis I had about 1-on-1 situations, that applies right now.
Yeah.
I was just, a little clairvoyant and predicting the future a little bit.
Yeah, they remember it, so you don't have to say it again.
Yeah, I spoke it into the ether, and it became true.
As Tucker hit the first free throw, and will now get a second free throw.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're Marin, don't want to have a lane violation and give him a third shot at that one. But Tucker nailed both, so it doesn't matter. 18-point lead for Solano, their biggest of the ball game.
As Mareri looks to penetrate with the jump step, but he traveled. One foot hit the ground before the other one, and he gets called for a travel.
Yeah, and that's kind of the game that Mareri has is, especially with no Derek Morgan, no Joey Potts on the court, he's probably going to be the primary ball handler, and he's more than likely going to call his own number. So Solano I think they can be a little bit more aggressive with Mariri as the primary ball handler, and no, he's probably going to take the shot.
Yeah, and Sterling Thomas with a nice step through, but cannot convert, and a foul will be called as number 3, Christopher Crest, just drags Soldovini on the ground.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Instead of pulling him up, he pulled him across, and he did a little 180 on the ground.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could pull me on the ground. So, yeah, and imagine trying to pick Kevin Karaman off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you even try to help him up?
No. I would stay away from him. I think the sheer size of him, he has his own gravitational pull that would pull you down to the ground if you got anywhere near him trying to help him up.
Exactly. Just look at the bench and pretend you're talking to the coach or something.
Yeah, what was that, ref? You wanted to talk to me about something? And
Rajon Washington gets tripped up and his back touched the out of bounds line, so it will be Marin's ball.
Yeah, Washington was looking for some sort of foul call as he kind of looked up incredulously at the refs like, what, no call? My back didn't magically hit the ground because of nothing.
So Soldovini gives it to Crest. Crest finds Mariri, but the ball is nearly stolen by Washington as number 11, Jack Soldovini, hits a corner 3. Isaiah Dupchon gives it to Ross. Ross gives it to Tucker. Tucker finds Dupchon. Dupchon penetrates, goes up with the shot, misses. Rebound by Mariri. Mariri pushing the ball up court. A foul will be called on Solano.
And so Mariri will go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. So with both teams being over the limit with 10-15 left in the game, that's a long time for both teams to be in foul trouble. So both teams will have to be cognizant of their aggressiveness defensively and not reach in too many times because for Solano, you only have 2 more opportunities to foul them and not give them 2 free throws automatically.
Mariri misses the free throw attempt. Rashad Tucker has the ball, and Derek Morgan checks back into the game for the Mariners. Sterling Thomas finds Andrew Mimai. Mimai gives to Tucker. Tucker to Williams. Williams to Sterling Thomas. Thomas for the corner 3. Misses. Rebound by Derek Morgan.
And Derek Morgan's had a nice rest on the bench while they cut 4 points off of the 18-point lead that Solano had. So by no means is this game over. And with Derek Morgan and Joey Potts back in the game, we'll see what Marin can do.
And an offensive foul will be called, I believe, on Mariri. Might have got Tucker with the swinging arm coming off the screen.
Yeah, so we talked about Soldovini, and Soldovini was actually trying to calm down Mariri as he didn't think he got any sort of purposeful contact by swinging his arm, but obviously the ref saw it differently. So offensive foul.
And Mariri with a little bit of acting job on that one as he gets the referee to call the foul on Trayvon Ross.
Maybe it was a makeup call too, because that seemed very incidental and no call in my opinion. But my opinion doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think Eric Mariri going to the school of Marcus Smart arts. As Derek Morgan puts up a shot, gets his own rebound, goes back up, misses. Rebound by Trayvon Ross. Ross finds Leon Williams, and Williams, he had the advantage, but the Mariners caught back up.
Boy, I tell you, Ross is going to sleep well tonight with the physicality that he's had to endure this basketball game. He's been really solid in the middle for Solano's, exactly the kind of gameplay that they needed to get this lead right now with under 9 minutes left in the game.
Andrew Mimai finds Leon Williams for the 3, and Leon Williams will be fouled by Jack Soldovini, and Williams will go to the free throw line for 3.
And there's just some disbelief there from Soldovini as it's really tough for Marin defensively. Solano can do some off-ball screens because they know Potts isn't going to switch out. He's going to protect the paint, so that puts the man guarding the three-point line at a huge disadvantage because they have to fight through the screen. And so with Sol Divini having to go that extra mile of going around Sterling Thomas on that three-point possession, just had to put that little extra effort in, and that little extra effort drew the foul. And so Solano will get 3 free throws from Leon Williams, and both teams with 9 team fouls will be in the double bonus from here on out.
Yeah, and with just under 9 minutes left in the double bonus, you can't really be aggressive at this point.
Right.
You have to really watch what you do with your hands, because we know players have a tendency to reach or just kind of arm bar,
check, yeah.
Get that arm out there and kind of make contact. And if the referee calls a foul, then that's automatically 2 free throws.
Yeah, and on the other end, offensively, you want to be aggressive. You can be as aggressive as you want, especially for the game of Derek Morgan, the sophomore guard from Marin. Hasn't really gotten going here in the second half, but we've seen his ability to get to the hole, draw some contact. So he's only a 53% free throw shooter, so that hurts him. But in terms of if Marin's going to claw back in this game, and they want to use the free throw line to their advantage of getting points with no time running off the clock, I think Derek Morgan's ability to get to the hole is going to be very important for them to try to get back in this ball game. And there you see one of the Girl Scouts we were talking about, Coach Borchard's daughter. As we know, Anthony, you're probably going to go see that booth later on.
Oh, most definitely. 99% chance.
Yeah.
And a funny story, my uncle, when we went to Vegas, he was doing interviews at a radio station, and the lady's daughter had one of those boxes. I can't remember what kind of chocolate they are, but they're like the chocolate bars that people sell.
Like C's or something? Or
Yeah, I think so. And he bought the whole box. So, yeah.
It probably made that salesperson's day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, definitely did.
They could go home after that, right? Sold all my chocolate.
As Williams hits 2 free throws and will shoot his last one. Williams shooting 80% from the line this season, as he misses the 3rd free throw. Williams going 2 for 3 at the line.
And so this is the first zone look we've seen from Solano. It'll be interesting to see how Potts plays into this defensive alignment, as well as Derek Morgan's driving ability.
And Cut Kelvin has the ball. Cut Kelvin gives it to Mareri. Mareri goes up for the mid-range shot, gets fouled, and we'll head to the free throw line.
Foul aside, it looked like Marin was having a lot of difficulty trying to figure out that zone defense, because obviously we haven't called that Solano has gone to that zone look until this very moment. So it's a new look at a crucial time in the ball game, and Marin hasn't been putting down that three-point shot. So maybe he can be a little aggressive and start double-teaming Potts and Morgan, denying entry passes, both face guarding and from behind, and try to make them beat them from the outside. So I don't think that's I think that's a pretty good strategy from Coach Nagel and the Solano staff here.
Yeah, and we were talking about that in the pregame, how the Mariners shoot a low percentage, but they were kind of hot in the warm-ups. But in this game, you see that why they shoot 27% from the three-point line, and Solano is taking advantage of that. As Mareri, he's lucky he hit that shot, because Kelvin was wide open down low, but he missed him.
Yeah, that's you better make it kind of shot. With 24 seconds on the shot clock, man wide open, you got to hit that shot. And Ross is down, clutching his ankle, and he's slow to get up. But Tucker steals the ball. Ross can't really walk, so he's going to get hounded there by Mareri.
Yeah, I know Trayvon Ross wishes he didn't hurt his ankle on that possession, because he had a wide open lane to the basket.
And I can only imagine the thought process of when he saw Tucker get that ball, like, please call timeout. Don't pass it to me right now. Because when you turn your ankle like that, it's just so uncomfortable. And there we get a good look at the Solano training staff tending to the right ankle of Trayvon Ross. Just careful on that angle there, Andy.
Yeah, we have a great medical staff, and if you want to join, You could ask Allison or find Bailey, and they will tell you everything about the program. You get hands-on experience with the program, and you get to come to all the sporting events.
Yeah, Allison Aubert, the Hall of Fame trainer here at Solano. What's Bailey's last name?
Shintrup, I believe.
Gotta get back to you.
Yeah, get back to me if I pronounce it wrong, Bailey. I'm sorry if I did, but yeah, that's as close as I could get. And Ross still favoring that ankle, so I doubt he'll return to this game.
Yeah, that's the thing about the ankle too, is like part of you wants to go in so that you don't get cold and it gets even worse. You kind of want to maybe use your adrenaline to your advantage, but also resting it definitely is going to be better for Ross. So we'll see how his effectiveness is affected the rest of this ball game, because I think he's done a great job on the sides of Potts and Kariman on the inside. So it's going to be on the shoulders of Kimball to really provide that as well, that sort of defensive effort.
And Sterling Thomas finds Andrew Mimai. Mimai gives it to Williams. Williams gives it to Tucker. Tucker gives it to Thomas. Thomas finds Kimball. Kimball looking to penetrate with the spin move, and is blocked. Cut Kelvin has the ball. Cut Kelvin looking to pass the ball. Finds Mareri. Mareri goes with the step back. Gives it to Cut Kelvin. Cut Kelvin shows the ball, drives to the basket, and a charging foul will be called on Cut Kelvin. And the one and only Rashad Tucker took the charge, and it will be Solano's ball.
Should rename him Rashad Taker of charges.
Rashad. Yeah, we have to come up with a nickname for Rashad Tucker. As Kimball has the ball. Kimball finds Tucker. Tucker penetrates. Backs it out, gives it to Mimai. Mimai back to Tucker. Tucker to Williams. Williams to Thomas. Thomas taking his time, finds Mimai. Mimai gives it to Williams. Williams for the deep three. Misses. Rebound by Maurice Kimball. Kimball gives it back to Mimai. Mimai to Williams. Williams back to Mimai. And they will reset. Mimai being guarded by R.J. Cut Kelvin. Mimai uses the screen.
Surprised they don't call that.
And
because Cut Kelvin ran straight into Kimball, and he didn't give any sort of ground. But they do call a foul, I believe, on Cut Kelvin against Tucker. Oh, no, they did call it against that charge.
Yeah, it was a late whistle. But Maurice Kimball will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, because Kimball was in legal screening position, didn't move an inch, and instead of fighting over the screen, Cut Kelvin just ran through him, and you're not allowed to do that on any level of basketball. So Kimball hits the first of 2 free throws.
And Kimball shooting 71% from the free throw line this season, as he misses the second free throw. Mareri throws it up to Sherrod. Sherrod gives it back to Mareri. Mareri to Potts down low, and Potts gets the basket to go in. As Dubchan gives it to Williams. Williams pump fakes, throws it out to Andrew Mimai. Mimai gives it to Thomas. Thomas to Williams. Williams to Kimball. Kimball to Dubchan. Dubchan to Williams. Williams looking to penetrate. Goes up. Potts throws it down. Derek Morgan on the fast break. Derek Morgan goes up with the layup. Misses. Rebound by Sterling Thomas.
Yeah, Morgan keeps going to that up and under, and it's been hot and cold so far. But what a great defensive effort by Potts on that switch from Leon Williams. Williams has all the advantage as an offensive player, but Potts able to use what athleticism he has, as Williams misses that shot to affect the shot of Leon Williams defensively.
As Garrett Sherrod puts up a three of his own, misses. Derek Morgan gets the rebound, finds Benegas. Benegas penetrates, airballs the shot. Rebound by Dubchan. Dubchan has the ball. Duplatron slows it down, gives it to Andrew Mimai. Mimai to Kimbo. Kimbo to Duplatron. Duplatron pulls up for 3 and gets his 4th 3 of the game to go in. And it looks like he's hobbling.
Yeah, it looks like I think Sherrod stepped on his ankle as he closed out. Just that incidental little tweak maybe. But Duplatron looks like he's just going to try to fight off the pain.
Right now, Duplatron guarding Garrick Sherrod. And, yeah, he can't really move like he wants to. As Marin misses another 3. Rebound by Duplatron.
And he is wincing as he brings the ball up the field, up the court, excuse me, and a timeout will be called by Solano. I think Tucker's probably going to check in for him.
Yeah, and with 4 minutes left in this game, Solano up by 15 points. Duplatron really doesn't need to play in this game and really be a defensive liability for Solano, so putting Tucker in the game would be the best thing because he can play great defensively, and he's always around to take a charge.
Absolutely, and you have Leon Williams offensively to kind of balance out. So you're not – I mean, you're obviously going to miss Duplatron on the offensive end, but with a 15-point lead, I think defensively is definitely the more important side of the ball to kind of be aware of coaching-wise and putting the most optimum lineup out there is to protect this lead. Obviously, you want to extend upon it as much as you can, but I think you have enough offensive firepower in the Solano lineup. And there you see Coach Nagel drawing up the next play for Solano. And we'll see what they do in the half court here after the timeout.
Yeah, Coach Nagel, a good coach, definitely is great at developing his players and giving them the opportunity to do well at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. One of many great coaches we see at the Solano program. Coach John Nagel has done an excellent job with this men's basketball program over the years, really developing players, establishing really important relationships with these players. He just got to induct his first men's player into the Hall of Fame this past year as well, so I know that was a proud accomplishment for Coach Nagel. So really one of the stalwarts, and I'm really happy we get to cover his team each and every year.
Yeah, and Nagel, I don't know if anybody's seen his son, but he's outrageously tall.
Yeah.
What is he, about like 6'8", maybe?
Yeah,
6'7"?
he's got a real good size on him. It definitely has a promising basketball future for him.
Yeah, I met him for the first time at the Hall of Fame banquet, and I was just looking at him like, why couldn't I have this height in high school? Because if I did, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be going against LeBron or somebody right now. You know.
We would be commentating you.
Leon Williams has the ball, gives it to Sterling Thomas. Thomas being guarded by Derek Morgan. Thomas gives it to Anthony Jones. And Jones gets fouled by Garrick Sherrod.
Yeah, just kind of bailed him out with that foul call. Obviously, we talked about the double bonus situation for both teams, so they're just going to foul Anthony Jones. Hope he misses some of these free throws coming up and live to find another day.
That's Anthony Jones. He was shooting, well, he just missed, but he was shooting 100% from the free throw line, but I believe last game he missed, and he just missed another one, so that free throw percentage is coming down a little bit. As he misses both. Rebound by Benegas, and Garrick Sherrod will bring the ball up court. Marreri has the ball. Gives the ball to Garrick Sherrod. Sherrod goes up for the mid-range shot. Misses. Rebound by Derek Morgan. Morgan is blocked by Rashad Tucker.
Wow.
Hey, Tucker can do it all defensively. As Duplatron goes up, Benegas gets away. Should have been a foul call on that play, but it looks like that ankle of Duplatron is feeling
just
much
fine.
better.
Yeah, on that finish. And then Marin's defense on that one as Carmen hits that post move. It was just interesting. Sherrod just sold out on that steal attempt. If you kind of went back, he could have at least contested that Duplatron layup a little bit better, but Sherrod going with the aggressiveness and trying to steal the ball outright on the pass, unable to hit that one.
Yeah, and with Solano up by 13 points with just under 2.5 minutes, this game is almost coming to an end, but it's not quite over yet, folks. Just 13 points. What can Marin do to try to come back?
Really, they need to execute defensively every single time at this point with such little time on the clock left. Solano, they've scored enough in the second half. They haven't been super dynamic offensively, so they still have a chance on the defensive end to try to make some stops. And then on the offensive end, really, they haven't gotten the three-point shot going. I really think that Derek Morgan should take a little bit more of a ball handling responsibility offensively than Mareri, as they seem to slow down when Mareri runs the offense a little bit more, and you can't have slow possessions that take up the entire shot clock at this point. You need quick buckets if you're Marin to try to chip away at this lead with such little time left. It's not impossible, but Marin just has to execute down this stretch.
Yeah, as you get a look at Eric Vesser chatting up with Sophia Dale and the rest of the women's basketball team.
And they come on next on the live stream. If you're watching on youtube.com/GregPoff, there'll be about a 20-minute break between games, and you can watch it on the live stream. And obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, just click on the little link for the women's game and enjoy the tones of Anthony Williams, who will be doing that women's game with McKenna Guerrero and Andy Chase, I believe.
Yeah, Andy really coming on strong for his first semester, really doing a great job.
Yeah, and that's the shot you see on the camera angle of Andy Chase, so multi-talented. We like to think of ourselves as multi-talented, so we're teaching the youngins pretty well to be good behind the camera and behind the mic.
Well,
Don't you think, Anthony?
Well, you know, once you hang out with Anthony Williams,
Yeah.
you could do it all pretty much after that. As Garrick Sherrod brings the ball up court. And it's funny because Garrick Sherrod averages 11 points per game, but we haven't seen much of him tonight.
Yeah, played pretty sparingly. Hasn't been used off the bench for the numbers that he puts up. It's surprising that they haven't used him more. He's the third leading scorer behind Morgan and Mareri, but he's pretty much been a non-factor off the bench for Marin.
As Derek Morgan will shoot free throws. And Morgan misses the first. And like you said earlier, Morgan shooting 53% from the free throw line. So going to the free throw line isn't much of a advantage for him. And a lane violation will be called on Marin.
Yeah. And I think he missed it anyway, right? And so Morgan, yeah, that's the next, I think, evolution in this game is he gets to the basket so aggressively and he creates so much contact with his athleticism that if he gets that free throw percentage above 70, he can definitely put that average. He averages 17.8, easily can average over 20 if he gets that free throw percentage up.
Leon Williams will inbound the ball. Williams gives it to Thomas. Thomas to Dublichan. Dublichan to Campbell as they break the press. Campbell throws it out to Dublichan. Dublichan to Williams. And Solano will take their time and let the clock drain out a little bit.
Exactly. That's the exact strategy to use here in the half court.
As Tucker has the ball. Tucker finds Dublichan. Dublichan is being guarded by Morgan, and the tough defense by Morgan forces the turnover, and Mareri gets the steal.
Yeah, that's the thing about athleticism. It translates to defense, too, and a lot of players love to focus on their offense. But with such an explosiveness that Derek Morgan has, if he can utilize that both defensively and offensively, obviously it takes a lot of energy out of you to put that much effort for an entire game on both ends. But he could be a factor defensively, I think, even more so than he is. Like, you talked about the 2 steals he gets. We saw him block a shot. They're hounding that defense, creating that turnover. Derek Morgan has a ton of upside, I think, as a player.
Yeah, getting that or developing a three-point shot and shooting better free throws would definitely up his game because right now he's a good two-way player. He just needs to develop a shot.
And odds are coming out of community college, if he wants to go to the next level, isn't going to be probably not going to be the star of the team. You know, he's going to have to fit in as a role player. And so you see those 3-and-D guys all the time. If he can kind of create that for himself as there's a travel called on Leon Williams. I think that really benefits him if he wants to continue his career at maybe D3, D2 level.
Yeah, and don't look now, but Marin has forced about 2 turnovers in the last 15 seconds, and they're only down 12 points with 1.5 minutes left.
Yeah, we talked about executing perfectly on defense, and turning up the aggressiveness on the press seems to be doing it, as it's caused a couple turnovers. Because the half-court set is 30 seconds of shot clock, and there's 92 seconds left in the game, Marin has to go all out here with the press and try to cause as many turnovers as they can, because simply putting the math, let's say there's 3 possessions each if Solano wants to just drain the clock. So they have to create turnovers if they want a chance of coming out victorious here at Solano.
Yeah, Solano, they've done a really great job in this game. The size of Joey Potts and Kevin Carman haven't been devastating for them, but they have had advantage, but not too much advantage to where they changed the game.
Exactly. They haven't imposed their size on Solano. They've been solid. We've seen Potts' real factor in on the inbounds plays, on those lob plays, but other than that, hasn't really put up too many shots in the half court. Same with Carman. We saw him drain a 3, hit some free throws, but aside from that, they haven't gotten many post moves. The entry passes have been denied nicely by Maurice Kimball and Trayvon Ross, so Solano's done an excellent job on the big 2 for Marin, size-wise.
As Eric Marreri gives it to Benegas. Benegas is turned away by Leon Williams. Williams has the ball. Williams trying to dribble up court, but the ball is stolen by Benegas, but he missed the layup. Rebound by Maurice Kimball. Kimball gets called for traveling.
Yeah, we talked about the steal. It was an excellent switch there from Marin on the pressure, and that caused an initial steal. Just Benegas has a trouble finishing at the rim. 2 point-blank layups missed. Only averages 3 points a game.
Maurice Kimball has the ball, throws it up to Leon Williams, and Williams will drain the clock a little bit. Williams being pressured by Benegas and Morgan, and Williams contacting Derek Morgan a little bit after the whistle was blown.
Yeah, if he just finished that last move, that would have been an elbow right to the chops of Derek Morgan, and Marin, their bench had a clear view of that, but Williams wasn't doing anything malicious. He was just trying to create some room for himself, and obviously didn't. He could have done something really dirty at that point, but didn't. So a lot of chirping over nothing, I think.
Yeah, we almost seen Ron Artest on James Harden moment just now.
Yeah.
But thank God we didn't. And with Solano up by 12 points with under a minute left, you could pretty much say this ball game is in hands for Solano.
Yeah, 12-point lead. It's going to be very tough for Marin to put enough points on to get the win, as to the delightment of that young fan on the basketball. Definitely happy to see Solano come out victorious. You know, Ron Artest, I think, is going to be on the next season of Celebrity Big Brother, the first season of it. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
As Maurice Kimball gets called for a travel, but
10 seconds came off the clock, you know.
Yeah, like you said, 10 seconds came off the clock, but Maurice Kimball, it didn't seem like he traveled.
Yeah.
As Benegas inbounds the ball to Marreri, and at this point, you definitely don't want to call any plays. Marreri goes full head of steam, misses, rebound by Maurice Kimball. Williams throws it up to Sterling Thomas. Thomas fast break, goes up, it's blocked by Joey Potts. And Garrick Sherrod has the ball, goes up strong, and a blocking foul is called against Maurice Kimball. But with under 30 seconds left, this game is in hands, and these free throws will not matter.
No, just nice for the stat line, nice for the final box score, but yeah, Solano's doing just enough to squeak a victory out. But man, Joey Potts, talked about LeBron that chase down block there on Sterling Thomas. Obviously, when you're in the open court, you want to finish like that. I think he was a little indecisive of should I finish or should I just drain the clock? So he kind of let up a little bit, allowed Potts to kind of catch up to him. But, man, Potts, his shot blocking ability, that's something that's going to translate wherever you go when you're 6'9".
Yeah, Sterling Thomas definitely should have pulled it out. Drive to the basket, get Potts in the air, and then just drain out the clock because Potts was the only one down court.
And so a foul called, I believe. Mimai is going to shoot free throws after rebounding the ball. He was fouled by Mareri, it looked like.
And Andrew Mimai really playing great in this game. Mimai, like I said, he's a good shooter. He just wasn't shooting at first earlier in the season. But now we see him being more aggressive, and he gets buckets.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of Arash Aliar a little bit from a couple years ago.
I remember Aliar.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of that, where he has the ability to shoot a three once in a while. He can drive a little bit. He can be a good third guard, a bench guard. So that's the kind of player I saw him as throughout this season.
As Garrick Sherrod gets the layup to go in, and Sherrod trying to get to his season average.
Eventually, as long as you get to that average, And
a timeout was called. And 20 seconds left in the ball game. What do you think Coach Nagle is telling his players?
Just to execute, it's just 20 seconds. It's a matter of just draining the clock out. Just remind them of the strategy of breaking this press and how to execute that. And that's pretty much it, I think. With a 9-point lead, Solano should come out of this. It'd be miraculous if Marin were able to pull this one out. But I think with this game in hand, let's preview the women's game a little bit. It's going to be a huge game for Solano's women as two teams at the top of the Bay Valley Conference in Marin and Solano both have 8 conference victories. Can you preview a little bit, Anthony, of what we should see from that game?
I'm expecting some great defense from both teams along with some good scoring. I think it will come down to the shooters of Solano to try to give them that advantage because we know they could play defense, but if they could score consistently and play good offense consistently throughout the game, they could definitely get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a matter of just shot making. When your best player is probably R.J. Johnson as well as Lizzie Rourke, two great scorers, but if the one thing you would like to see improvement from R.J. Johnson is just that outside shot making, just a little bit more consistency there. So they're going to foul Tucker there. So, yeah, it's just a matter of which team shows up. It's that defense always usually translates with a Coach Borcher team and being able to pick up that press, cause turnovers. So Marin's going to have to be very wary of that. It should be a very exciting game coming up after this one.
As Rashad Tucker misses his 3rd straight free throw. And on the season, he averages 70%. So this is unlike
7 in a row.
unlike Tucker. But he gets the 2nd free throw to go in. And Garrick Sherrod will bring the ball up court, pulls up for the 3, gets it to go in.
Getting closer to that average, Anthony.
Where was this during the game?
Yeah. Yeah, that 3-point shooting ability would have been nice early on. 7-point lead with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and Solano, Marin would definitely need like some miracle Reggie Miller type thing to happen.
Steal 3.
Yeah.
Steal 3.
For this game to be over or for them to get the victory.
Right.
But I don't see Coach Nagle letting anything like that happen.
Yeah, you get a good look at Coach Nagle. His composure isn't of worry. He's very calm and cool and collected and just telling his guys how to anticipate this upcoming defense that Marin's going to throw at them on this inbound and how to drain as much clock as possible because you got to believe Marin's in a steal or foul situation where if they don't get the steal, they'll foul right away, try to prolong this game just a little bit longer. And that's kind of the situation we're at. As you see Lizzie Rourke and the Solano women getting ready for this next game. You always got to wonder when you're the second game of the back-to-back, how you feel when the game kind of prolongs like this in the last minute of the game. You think you're all ready to start warming up, and then you have to sit and wait some more.
Oh, yeah. Like, if a game goes overtime and you're just patiently waiting and the schedule of the games gets thrown off, then it's like you don't know what to expect as Leon Williams gets fouled by Derek Morgan. And Williams will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, and with the swarming defense of Marin is important for Aliar to, or excuse me, I called him Aliar, Mimai to inbound the ball before that 5-second violation. And so they were able to do that. And one of the best free throw shooters for Solano's at the line.
Yeah, Williams shooting 80%, but misses the first free throw.
Shouldn't have called him one of the better free throw shooters. I take that responsibility out myself as a broadcaster and not to jinx him.
Broadcaster's jinx,
Yeah.
Brian. You should know.
Terrible free throw shooter, Leon Williams right here. Worked in reverse.
Yeah. As he gets the second free throw to go in, Solano up by 8 points. So this game is definitely over, as I think Tucker got a piece of that ball as Sherrod shot the ball.
Yeah, he's going for that exact same shot that he hit, same spot on the court. That time Solano saw it coming, had 3 hands up to contest, and 1.3 seconds, this should be over.
Yeah, and Solano gets the victory today with a score of 68-60. And Brian, what did you see from Solano that you liked?
It was just a great game plan coming in. I think they were aware, as we were, of the roster of Marin and how they had 6'9" players, and obviously being at a size disadvantage this whole season, that's nothing new to them. They were just able to execute their game plan very well. Great efforts from Trayvon Ross defensively to box out both Joey Potts and Kevin Kariman. And then Isaiah Duplatron bouncing back from the last time we saw him on SCSN and having an excellent first half, hitting, I believe, 4 3-point shots and providing that offensive spark, along with Kimball, Maurice Kimball, for Solano, that 1-2 punch, able to put enough points on the board. Wasn't a spectacular second half offensively for Solano, but they were able to nurse that lead to this 8-point victory.
Yeah, and what can you say about Marin? They have some freshman players that are going to do great, and Kevin Carman, Joey Potts, and Eric Marreri. What can you say a little bit about them?
Yeah, I thought there's definitely some potential there with that Marin side. They just need to build upon this for next season. Obviously, you're going to lose your spark in Derek Morgan, but if Marreri can kind of develop his game as a leader, as a ball handler, and kind of get the flow of the offense a little bit more involved, get his teammates more involved, and then use that strategy of having that 1-2 punch with Potts and Kariman to their advantage, they have potential for next Bay Valley Conference season.
Yeah, and with the score of 68-60, Solano gets the victory tonight. I am Anthony Williams, joined by Brian Nelson. We will be back on Valentine's Day, feeling the love for the game against Mendocino. We will see you soon.